when you're in an area that has poor cell phone signal. HiBoost is just another brand, same exact product. Honestly, if you see it, it looks very similar to the HiBoost. You have a folding mount arm, you have the pole that makes the antenna higher, and then this is the antenna itself, a booster that goes inside the truck, and then you have your all your wiring and components that are inside the truck as well. What's going on, guys? Welcome back for another video. If you're new here, my name's Chris. Right behind me, this is the Fortune Taco. And over here on the table of goodies, we have the HiBoost. I know a lot of you guys are probably familiar with HiBoost for cell phone boosters. So honestly, looking at it, it does look really similar to the HiBoost because it's a very similar setup. You have your power amplifier to boost the signal coming from the antenna, which then in return goes to your cell phone, boosting cell service signal. This thing does not produce and make cell phone signal happen when there's nothing at all. But if you have a very low powered weak signal, this being called a HiBoost, it amplifies and boosts a very low signal, hopefully getting you a better signal, send some emails, surf social media if that's something you want to do. I'm very quickly going to get into unboxing this, open it up, go over all the components, and then we're going to get to installing this on the truck. And after it's installed, the final step, we're going to try to do a little signal test and see if this thing really does the trick. Oh, and one last thing I did not mention, they have a couple different models. This one is the Travel 3.0. So it does have that folding arm. It's kind of meant for that overlander camping kind of person that wants to keep this mounted all the time, but fold it down when you're not using it. One of my favorite things here of this design, couldn't tell you what kind of vehicle it is. And after I looked at it for just a couple seconds, I realized it's an AI rendering because the snorkel goes into the passenger's door. So it's a pretty cool looking image, but I think they used some AI there to design this box. Foam padding there on top to protect it. Our user manual, couple of the kit components. First one being the power amplifier. That thing has got some weight to it. Our extension pole. Another part of the extension rod is what helps you feed your wire down through the extension rod. Velcro here with double-sided tape on it. We have the boost antenna, zip ties. This is going to be the internal antenna, so we can take this and this might be where the Velcro goes. Here's the outdoor pivot mount. Very hefty feeling. I thought this was a turn knob, but it's actually a pull. And as you can see, as you change it, it clicks. So a couple base plates for when it comes to mounting this if you need to use these, depending on your setup. The power source for inside the car, using a cigarette lighter, bag of hardware, a nice heavy duty spring, and then our antenna cable. Our box is empty, but the quality of packing and presentation, I would say 10 out of 10. They did a really good job on that. So when it comes to the assembly of the outdoor antenna, we want to get this thing all set up. So taking your extension rod, you're going to want to feed the antenna cable all the way through that. It pokes out the bottom. Feed it all the way through so you can then screw the actual head of the antenna. I don't know what this part's called. You want to screw that all the way on until you can't no more. That little extender that has the hole coming out of the side of it. I'm gonna feed the antenna through there. So feed the antenna through, coming out that side hole. And then we need to screw that piece on to the bottom of our extender. The next piece, it's optional if you want to, but that heavy duty spring will go onto the bottom of the little extension piece we just screwed on. The whole purpose behind the spring, when you have this thing extended, if this was to whack anything or hit anything, it'll allow it to flex and bend, not causing any of this to damage or snap. So it gives a little bit more flexibility when running into branches or something on accident. And then at the very bottom of that spring, we're gonna do the folding mount with all of those components together. The outdoor antenna is now assembled. We just need to go and install this on the truck. So when it comes to mounting the antenna, I'd say universal. You can honestly do it probably in tons of different ways, depending on what your setup's like. If you're mounting this on some type of bed rack, if you're gonna be mounting it up on your roof rack, there's multiple different places people can be mounting these. I'm gonna be mounting it on the inside of the side panel here on the Prinsu. I can do my adjustment and click it 90 degrees in that position. When I'm not using it, I'll come back out here, I can fold it all the way straight down and it'll be nice and parallel and flush with the roof rack. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to do that. I'm sure you guys can see behind me. There's a lovely monsoon storm a-brewing. I'm hoping to get this install done before it starts to downpour on me, because that would not be good for the video. So to tighten up the supplied hardware here from HiBoost, you're gonna want a 5mm Allen and a 10mm wrench. Technically, this thing is sitting pressed up against my factory antenna. When it's down, I'm not worried about it because I'm not using it, but hopefully for like the vibrations, it might kind of hold it steady. It's technically what HiBoost wants you to do. You're supposed to take this little kickstand they supply, and it's supposed to kind of get mounted up somewhere here so that can click in, and that's supposed to kind of hold it up and give it a nice kickstand. But due to the curve here of the roof on the Tacoma, that's sitting a little too high and it's putting a little bit of tension here and pressure on here. I don't know if that would be if that can cause some damage or issues in the long run. We're gonna try to leave it as be. We'll see if while I'm driving and stuff, if there's any vibration issues, I might have to address that. But see, that spring I was telling you about, if you were to hit a branch or something, your flexing is gonna be coming from this spring rather than in these parts or busting the antenna. Hopefully it hits it and allows it to kind of give a little bit of way before damaging the antenna. Now that we have that installed though, I'm gonna go ahead and get this wiring run inside. Look at that. The skies are all blue now and I'm wearing a different shirt because, as I guessed it, the storm came and hit. It started raining, so I had to finish up the project for the day. But what I did get done, obviously we got the antenna all mounted up. I did all the wiring with the extension cable, running it along the roof rack. I went down the A-pillar into my engine bay. I then tucked it down and under. It comes back up onto the truck. There is a boot that is right about here. So right next to this module, I don't know if all Tacomas have this or if it's just off-road specific, four-wheel drive or the year or whatever, but this little rubber boot right here, this is my cable running into that boot. It then comes into the interior of the truck. That boot is somewhere right about here. So you have to just go up under the carpet by taking out this plastic panel. And then that's how I got my cable inside. So now with the external antenna fully installed, all the wiring routed, I want to get this internal antenna installed. It's gonna be somewhere up in this dash area because my cell phone is usually always mounted right here on my magnetic tack form mount. This is the best placement just for like this general area to boost and amplify signals within driver's and passenger front compartment area. I think I'm actually gonna have this amplifier placed underneath the passenger seat. HiBoost provides you with some of this double-sided Velcro. There's these little rectangles kind of outlined here on the boxes. Those rectangles are the same size as these two Velcro strips. So by attaching two of those here, the Velcro in return would stick to the factory carpet. So I think I'm gonna put two strips of Velcro on the bottom side here. I can then take the amplifier and up under the passenger seat, stick it on the carpet, and then that Velcro should hold it in place so it doesn't move or slide around when I'm driving or off-roading. Mounting the amplifier under the passenger seat, internal antenna up here on the dash. I'm gonna clean up and do that stuff real quick, and then I'll catch back up with you guys so we can move on to the next step of this process. I have that mounted there, so it's kind of just behind my phone up here on the dash. I ran the wire back behind my radio. Inside the dash, I then went around the back side of the console to this side. And you know, I could have gone through the dash portion to here. I tried to take a longer route to just try and use up as much of the cable as possible so there's no interference between the internal antenna and that external antenna cable. If they have too much overlap between each other, you will get feedback, you'll get interference, and it actually will cause issues with giving you a signal boost. I got the girls loaded up with me, a little one here in the back, and we're gonna go just take a little trip down a dirt road and see if we can hopefully get some really weak signal to do some good testing. So I took a little drive, I came out, found a location that was a little ways away from the house, not too bad, but our service is very, very low right now, which is exactly what I wanted. Got the girls out here enjoying themselves, running around and exploring. That HiBoost antenna propped up. So now we just need to do some testing inside the truck. Here on the phone, I went to Google and I just typed in speed test and gonna do an internet speed test here right off of Google. I'm currently showing 2 bars of 4G. Run a speed test and see what we get for our download and upload speeds. So with the test included, I'm showing a download speed of 16 megabytes and an upload of 0.6 megabytes, which is pretty damn low. I'm gonna go ahead and power on our HiBoost. See if we can run a test again. 16 megabytes download, 0.6 upload, and we'll run it again now that we have the HiBoost on and running. At least I did 1 test with it off, 1 test with it on, and we're definitely seeing an increase in numbers here. So we had 16 download, we're now up to 49 download, and our upload improved from 0.6 to 1.9. So it definitely did draw in a stronger signal, exactly like it's claiming to do. Now, I've mentioned it before, I'm no expert with this stuff, so if anybody's watching this video, if they have more experience than me or want to chime in or mention anything that I'm missing and not covering, please do me a favor, drop a comment down below and give me some better information, because I'm not an expert, I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm definitely looking forward to testing this thing out more, the next adventure I'm on or next trips I'm going on when I don't have service, power this thing up and see if it'll help me and do the job when I need service and I'm out somewhere remote or somewhere just further off the grid and we don't really have that cell phone signal we need, whether it's doing remote work, you need to make a phone call in an emergency, you need to just send a text message out to the wife. This thing could be very helpful as long as it continues working just like it did today. I have high hopes that it's gonna do a good job, because just in my first initial test, I saw a drastic increase in the cell phone signal boost. If you're interested in picking up a HiBoost just like this one in today's video, I'll be leaving a link down below so you can check out the HiBoost website and pick up this cell phone signal booster if that's something you're interested in. If you enjoyed this video and you stuck around this long, I appreciate you, but I need a couple favors from you. Drop a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it. It helps the video be more successful to get seen by more people just like yourself. If you have any questions about this HiBoost product or just any questions about the Fortune Taco or for myself, drop a comment down below and try my best to reply to every comment that's left on my videos. And last but not least, if this is the first time you've seen one of my videos, or maybe you've seen a couple of them, but you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and click the subscribe button so you'll be able to see anytime I release future content right here on the channel. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next video.